What's going on, people? It's your boy Phurzaah here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with another Modern Warfare 3 Zombies video for you guys, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys an updated method on the tombstone glitch within Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Now, as you guys will know, today we did get our mid-season update with Season 1 Reloaded drop-in. So with that drop-in we did get a few changes in game, and one of the changes did surround the tombstone glitch. Now, they did try to go ahead and patch the duplication method. Now, the way they've tried to patch this is very simple. They've gone ahead and not allowed us to actually swap out our items with our purchase or reward tab items, so that we can't actually go ahead and add extra items into our stash. But what they haven't done is actually gone ahead and cleared everyone's stash. So the reason why this is a benefit to us is simply because for those of you that do have an extensive stash like 100 items or 200 items, you guys are going to be totally fine. You don't need to really duplicate any more items, and if you guys do want to add more things to your stash, then you can do so. It's just that you won't be able to add extra items, rather you'll be able to swap out items that you don't necessarily want. So for example, I have 68 items in my stash, but not every single item in here I necessarily need. So as you guys can see, I have a PhD flopper perk here. I have whole heaps of Aether blades that I don't necessarily need. I don't need that many Aether blades. So what you guys can actually go ahead and do is swap out those items for the items that you do want to be in your stash. So for example, if I go ahead and craft this napalm burst, just so you guys can identify it really easily out of everything in my stash. Well, let's just say this was a really good item and I wanted to get rid of something in my stash that wasn't necessarily good. All I would have to do is go ahead and swap that item out, and it's as simple as that, and then that item is now going to be in our stash. So the reason this is a benefit, as I said, you guys can go through your stash and there's going to be things in there that you may have like loads of, and there's going to be stuff that you have a little amount of. So you can pretty much go through and even everything out and pretty much just make sure that you have all of the main things that you need in your stash, and just get rid of some of the stuff that you don't necessarily need or things that you're not going to be using a whole bunch of the time. If you're looking to unlock the new Modern Warfare 3 camos such as Interstellar or Borealis hard unlocked, or play in bot lobbies where you guys can level up your guns and unlock camos rapidly, get all the best schematics or even instant delivery pre-made accounts, be sure to check out mixcaptors.com. They're the biggest and most reliable seller of heaps of brand new offerings for Modern Warfare 3 with completely safe and legitimate services for Xbox, PC and PlayStation. These guys have well over 10,000 verified reviews on their Trustpilot page and are by far the most legitimate sellers. Be sure to use code PHURZ for 5% off for a limited time only. What this means for our tombstone is that we're not going to be duplicating items with our tombstone. We're simply going to be taking in everything that we want in our tombstone, setting that tombstone, and in every single game we'll be able to go to that tombstone and take those items. So we won't have to interrupt any of the items that's in your current stash. You won't have to use any of those items. You won't have to use any of your craftable items, because you'll have every single item that you need in your tombstone. So I would highly suggest you guys really think about what you want in your tombstone, and I would highly suggest putting something like a golden armor plate, a dog bone, an Aether blade, and I would highly suggest making sure that you do set a tombstone that has unlimited money. And if you guys need any help with any of this stuff, or you do need weapon cases or unlimited money, do think about joining the Discord. We have a huge community of people that don't mind helping. The link will be in the description, so definitely check that out. Once you guys have set everything in your backpack that you're happy with and that you want to set in your tombstone, all we need to do is actually go in game and I'll show you guys the next steps from there. Now, make sure you guys bring in a tombstone perk just so it makes your life easier if you do have one craftable. If you don't, then you can just hop in game, do a contract, and you'll get one, as simple as that. Now, as you guys can see, we're not necessarily bringing in a lot of items, and that's simply because we do currently have a tombstone on the map that we are going to be using to get all of our stuff, but then we will go ahead and set a new tombstone with the new method that I'm going to be showing you. Okay, so finally at my tombstone location. Now let me just show you guys my tombstone location on the map. Now this is where I put my tombstone personally. I think that this is a really good place to put the tombstone, simply because we have water access. So if you spawn at this side of the map, or up here, or down here, or down here, you guys can normally find like a boat, and then you can just get the boat all the way in, so it just saves you a whole heap of time. And then also, if you guys don't want to find a boat, there's normally rifts around the map as well. So I normally think that this is a really good location. I know a lot of people put it on the cranes over here. I used to put it on the cranes as well, but what I noticed is a lot of the time I would spawn on this side of the map and it would take me forever to get over here. So just having it in the center of the map here where it's got water access is a really good good idea in my opinion. So you guys can think about using my location if you don't know where to put your tombstone, because it's actually a really good location to use. So as I said guys, when you are doing the tombstone glitch, the main thing that you're going to want to have is obviously tombstone soda. So make sure you drink in that before you do anything. And then the next thing is to make sure that you have a large backpack. You don't necessarily need to come in with an operator that has a large backpack, but before you set your tombstone, you're definitely going to want to have a large backpack so that you can maximize the amount of things that are in the tombstone. So we're just going to go ahead and take all of our items out. Now we are going to be swapping a few items out of here. So we are going to be leaving 3 armor plates because we don't have any armor plates in our stash. So we're going to be duplicating armor plates and swapping them with some of the items that's currently in our stash in order to stack up on armor plates. We're going to be doing the same thing with dog bones and legendary tools as well. We do want to keep a scorcher in here simply because I do love having a scorcher in my tombstone for getting around the map. So I'd highly suggest you guys have a scorcher. And then I think the last thing that we're going to have is probably going to be an aether blades. And now our tombstone is ready to be set. So once you guys are set up, all we need to do is go ahead and die, and I'll show you guys what you need to do in order to leave the game correctly, because the method in order to leave the game has changed. So you guys just want to get to a height that's high enough for you guys to die, and this is how I set my tombstone every time. Now make sure that you guys do not have a self revive, because if you have a self revive, it's not going to work. And again, when you are setting your tombstone, make sure you guys are setting it with things that you want to use every single game, or things that you do want to duplicate and swap with the stuff that's currently in your stash. And for those of you that do have a stash that's under 10, then you guys can go ahead and duplicate anything that you want and put it in your stash the same way it used to work before the update. So let's just go ahead and down ourselves. So we're just simply going to jump off from there. Now we're going to wait a few seconds until that gets like a quarter of the way down, and then we're going to give up. Okay, so we're going to give up, and now our plea time is going to start. Now on the old method, we would plea for help at 14 or 15 seconds. On this new method, we're not going to plea at all. We're just going to let ourselves die out completely. We're going to run through the whole animation, and we're going to see our XP come up on the screen, and you're just going to watch the whole thing play through, and then you'll leave the game. So let me just show you guys what I mean. You're going to see eliminated. You're going to see your mission progress. Wait until your XP comes in. And then once your XP comes in after this, you guys can actually go ahead and leave the game now. Now, if you guys go ahead and leave the game anytime before that, your tombstone's not going to be set. So as I said, if you guys go and watch the old video and follow the old tutorial, then you guys are going to be leaving the game after 16 seconds on the plea timer, and it's not going to set your tombstone. So that's why I'm updating you guys here today, because you guys need to know the new method so that you can actually do this effectively. So now obviously you guys are not going to have nothing on your character. Don't worry about that too much. Now at this point, if you guys do have another character that does have a large backpack, go ahead and swap over to them. So it's going to make the process a lot easier, so that the next time you come in game, you're just going to be able to take every single thing out of your tombstone without having to take money, go to the shop, get a backpack, and then come back. It's just going to save you guys a whole heap of time. So I'd highly suggest swapping to someone that has a large backpack. As you guys can see, we don't have any, I'm afraid, so we're just going to have to pretty much do it the long way. So once you guys have left, swapped over your character to someone that has a large backpack, this will be the time that you guys want to bring in an aether blade. Or if you have an aether blade in your tombstone, then you won't have to worry about it. But this is going to be the time to bring it in, because you guys are going to be able to use that aether blade one time and have it forever. Now, the only time you're ever going to lose that aether blade is 1, if you dashboard, 2, if you leave the game, or 3, if the game disconnects. Other than that, you guys will be able to keep that aether blade every single time, because you guys are not going to be going through a normal exfil in order to keep your tombstone. You guys are going to be going through one of the act missions, and that's going to allow you to keep the tombstone. It's going to allow you to keep the aether blade, and it's also going to allow you to keep everything that's in your backpack when you exfil. Let's just load up into the next game. So as you guys can see, we've loaded into our next game, and we can't see our tombstone on the map. Don't panic, because as soon as we load in and we open up our map, the tombstone is going to be there. I promise you, don't worry too much. So we've now loaded in completely. We've opened up the map, and there is the tombstone. So as I said, if you don't see it when you're loading in off the chopper, don't have a heart attack, because most of the time it does do that. Sometimes it does give me a heart attack, I'll be honest with you, but just don't worry too much, because your tombstone will be there, and the tombstone is now set. So we're just going to head straight over there. Okay, so we're now at our tombstone, and as you guys can see, it is the updated tombstone with the 3 armor plates at the front. and the 2 legendary tools, the 2 dog bones, the 1 scorcher case, and the 1 aether blade. We're going to go ahead and pop that aether blade now, and I'm going to show you guys how you're going to be able to keep that forever. And then obviously we're just going to take these items here as well. So now we've collected everything from our tombstone. I'm going to be showing you guys how to exfil. Now I'm quickly going to answer a few questions that I can imagine you guys having around the solo tombstone glitch. But the first question that I did notice a lot when I did post this previous method was a lot of people asking what would happen if you go down whilst you're playing solo. Now if you do go down, don't worry too much. You guys can literally just exit out of your game. So if you're on PC, just Alt F4, and if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, just close down the application. Yes, you will lose everything that was in your backpack, but you still will have your tombstone. And as I said, if you are setting that tombstone with things that you do need in that game and you do have unlimited money, then it's not going to be a major thing to just lose everything, because you're going to be able to get everything back that exact game. When you go back, you're going to have everything that you did have the last game, because it's going to be in your tombstone, and you're going to be able to go and buy your 3 plate vest, your large backpack, your durable gas mask, all of those things, because you're going to have unlimited money as well. So don't worry about it too much. Just close down the application. It's going to take you about 5 minutes to regain everything back through your tombstone. So just go ahead and exit out of the game. Now for those of you that want to know how to keep your tombstone after the red worm, it's really simple and the old method still works. I do have a dedicated video for that, so if you guys want more of an in-depth sort of tutorial, definitely check that video out. I'll leave a link in the description, but I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what you need to do from here. You guys can pretty much go straight through the portal that spawns after the red worm. You guys just need to cancel out of the portal once you get to the black screen. So once you get to the black screen, if you're on PC, you want to Alt F4, or if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, you just want to close the application. Now that will actually make you lose everything that's in your backpack. If you gain schematics and stuff like that, you will lose those, but your tombstone will still be safe. Now the best option is, when you finish the red worm, is to go to one of the mission exfils. Now the only mission exfil that's going to be available at that time is going to be the Act 4 portal, which is this one right here, which we're going to be going to in just a second for this method. So all you're going to want to do is go to the Act 4 portal, do the same method that I'm going to be showing you right now, and that's going to save your tombstone and everything that's in your backpack. So if you do want to keep your tombstone after the red worm, just follow the same method that we're going to be doing in this video, and you're going to be able to keep everything. Now the last question that I get a lot before we actually go ahead and go to the exfil is, if you guys have a tombstone, how can you complete your camo progression and exfil with schematics? Now that's actually really easy. If you guys are doing the camo grind, you guys are probably going to be at one of these exfil sites anyway, probably doing your bosses challenge or whatever it is you might be doing. This is probably the best place to do it, other than the outlast contracts and stuff like that. So all you guys would need to do is literally exfil from one of these locations. Wait until the screen gets to successful exfil and then close down your application. So if you're on PC, you want to Alt F4 once you see the successful exfil screen. And if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, you just want to close down your game. Now that's going to make you lose everything that's in your backpack, but you're still going to keep everything that's in your operator. And if you guys had any schematics on you, obviously they're going to have gone out of your backpack, but they would have unlocked for you guys to actually craft. So if you guys are worried about camo progression and exfilling with schematics, don't worry, you guys can still do that with a tombstone. You just have to use one of these exfils. And if you guys are doing the normal tombstone method like we're doing right now, then you're going to want to use the bad signal portal, which we're going to be using, or you guys can use any of these other act portals. And when the helicopter gets in the sky and the screen goes black, you're going to want to close down your game. But we're going to be using the Act 4 portal because it is the easiest one in my opinion, and we do know the confirmed timing for all consoles. Once you guys get to the Dark Aether portal, it's as simple as calling it in, voting yes, and just wait for the timer. Now if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, you guys want to disconnect now when you're going through the portal, and if you're on PC, you're going to want to wait for this black screen and then close your app. So I'm on PC, so I'm going to close my app on the black screen, as you guys can see. But as I said, if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, you guys want to close the app when you're going through the portal, not at the end. Once everything's done, just press play and load it back up, or load back up your game if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, and then you'll have everything that was in your backpack still there, just like before. So we've loaded back up. As you guys can see, we have everything in our backpack right there, and our operator is now stacked again. So now we can swap to another operator and go in game and stack them up with the same tombstone, and pretty much do that for all of our operators. So within 3 games we'll pretty much be back from 0 to hero on every single operator, which is just absolutely amazing. Now, as I said, you guys can't go ahead and swap these items out with your purchase items to make more items in your stash. If your stash is under 10, then you're going to have no problem just throwing these in your stash and going over the stash limit like how the old method worked. But if you guys are over the limit, as I said, you're not going to be able to go any higher. But what you can do is swap things that are redundant for things that aren't. So for example, the napalm burst, we don't need that, so we're going to go ahead and swap that with one of the armor plates. Again, we're going to go through and look for something else that we don't need. PhD can, we don't need that, so we're going to swap that out. We're going to go ahead and look again. We do have an elder sigil, we don't need that because we do have a few of them, so we're just going to swap that out. And then you guys can pretty much just tweak your stash to be exactly what you want it to be. And if you already have quite a few stash slots, then you guys are going to have no worry whatsoever. You guys are going to be able to set your stash just the way you want. I mean, I'm at 68 and that is quite low in comparison to a lot of people. I know a lot of people are at the max, which is like 240. So the guys that have over 100 have no worries, but even me at 68, I still have no worries because I have 68 in my stash and then 16 in my purchased items. So essentially I almost have 100 items sitting in my stash just like that. And being able to pick and choose which ones I actually want to put in there just makes it 10 times better. Now with these other items, you guys can take them in game and drop them for people, or you can just go ahead and simply just crush them if you don't need these items. I mean, it is a waste, but at the end of the day, what else are you going to do with it? Now, as I said, when there is a method on how to do the new ultimate stash glitch, I will update you guys on the channel. So if this video was helpful or you guys are interested in any more videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn post notifications on. If you guys need help setting your tombstone with things like essence or weapon cases or anything like that, do join the Discord. We have loads of members and they'll be able to help you out. Anyways, that's it for me. It's been your boy Phurzaah. I'm out. Peace.